Always do you hear me? With Unico Williams. That's right, it's your boy. Now I'm back with another one on Thursday, as I always love to do. Because you know, Thursday is my favorite day of the week. Why? Well, I was born on a Thursday, 11:47 a.m. to be exact. Woo! And what a Thursday today is. I'm so excited. We got game 4 of Lakers versus Rockets tonight at 7 o'clock on TNT. But even bigger than that, the NFL is back. Football is back. NFL, structured football with a real schedule is back. None of this random college stuff that's going on. NFL is back. Okay? Loving it. Big matchup tonight. Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes. 2 paid men. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. That's why I'm coming at you a little bit earlier today, because I know y'all want to watch the hoop. You got to watch LeBron James. You got to watch James Harden. You got to watch Russell Westbrook. You got to see my homeboy. You got to see Deshaun Watson. It's a big night, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it to you a little bit early. But before we get into that, a little bit more of the same. We have a story comes to you out of Utah, Salt Lake City. Police doing police things. That's what is being known for at this point. The police have this stigma about them that they just like to shoot black people. Well, looks like they like to shoot people in general. And it doesn't matter how old you are or what race you are. So, September 4th, Golda Barton, she called the police. She called the police because she needed crisis intervention. So her son, Linden Cameron, was having a bit of a mental issue. He's having an episode, violent, some would say. But Golda called the police. She called the authorities, and she mentioned to them that her son is being erratic and yelling and shouting. He doesn't have a weapon or anything like that. He's acting out of her control. Linden is 13. He has a form of autism called Asperger's. So apparently, Golda had not been to work in a year, and this was her first day going back to work. And apparently, he has severe separation anxiety. So her son had an episode, and she needed some assistance with it. So she did what most people think to do in those situations. She called for help. More specifically, she called 911 for help. And she specifically asked for somebody in crisis intervention. Well, the typical police came out, not a mental illness person or a specialist or anything like that. Just the typical on the beat, police cruising. Police come out. So they had confronted him. They told him to get on the ground, and moments later they shot him multiple times. Mad injuries, ankle, chest, colon. He got shot a lot of times, and he is currently in critical condition at the hospital out there in Utah. Here we go again. Here we go again. You know, we got all these sports coming back, and the conclusion of the NBA season is in our sights. The beginning of a baby 2020-2021 Super Bowl journey is commencing tonight. Kickoff is tonight. And so many other things to talk about, but here I am again on another episode talking about police brutality, and not so much police brutality. I mean, this was just flat out murder. They did it again. What's interesting about this is the mom knew what she needed. She knew she needed crisis intervention. She knew she needed specialists that could come out and help her in this situation. People that know how to deal with people that have mental illness. That's what she specifically asked for. She asked for that because she knew that's what her son needed. We have another instance of someone calling the police for help, and little do they know, they're actually leading the person that they're trying to help to their execution, if you will. Now, luckily, he survived at this time. He's still alive at this time. But, I mean, can you imagine how she would feel if her son died that day? That she called for help and actually was the catalyst in the death of her own son. I don't know how you live with that. And, you know, we just got done with the Prue story last week, where you know he was mentally ill, and his brother called for help in this situation. Brother was killed. He was the catalyst in a sense. And I know he wasn't doing this purposefully, but he was the catalyst behind the death of his brother. That's not why he called the police. He didn't say, "Hey, can you come kill my brother?" Just like his mom didn't say, "Hey, can you come kill my son?" Just here we go again. It just continues to happen all the time. No remorse, to just do it. And what's interesting about this is that the mayor had signed an executive order for, dig this, signed an executive order for the police to start using de-escalation tactics first. It's mandatory to use that first. Wow. So you had to sign an executive order to ensure that there's a policy in place that you try to de-escalate the situation first before you move to forceful action in 2020. So like that was never the first, that's not in the training, that's not in any of that at all. Like she had to make them, she said, you know what, from now on, you have to de-escalate, try to de-escalate first. Are you kidding me? Like they just signed an order for that in 2020. Like that's not a part of like training, is to try and de-escalate first. It's automatically their first thought is to pull out their weapons because that's what they did to Linden Cameron. No de-escalation, told him to get on the ground and bow. Gunshots to the back. I don't get it. I don't get it. What kind of training? And I'll tell you what kind of training. I'm looking into this. I'm looking into this like, why does this have to be a policy, if you will? And the chief of police says, well, they have training. They go through 40 hours of CIT, which is crisis intervention training. 40 hours. That is one work week. You train for one work week on how to de-escalate situations, and then that they just send you off to the streets to go into the public with people that you have no idea what you're walking into, but all you can think of is shoot first. Just shoot first. I think that's been the attitude of the police as a whole. Protect yourself. Make sure that you protect yourself. Make it home to your family. But we're finding out that these officers, they're not in positions where they're not going to make it home to their parents. To their family. They're in positions that can be de-escalated. But sometimes you just got to tackle somebody, okay? I get that. Sometimes you may have to forcefully restrain somebody, put them in like a little arm bar or something like that. Man, Batman don't even do this. Batman is the most known brutally attacking people, but he always puts them down without killing them. Now, Batman could do this without guns and stuff. Why can't these real-life police officers... Now, Batman does this by himself, by the way. You know y'all call 6 or 7 to 10 to 12 people at a time, and y'all couldn't come together to just tackle this kid and be done with it. You decided to shoot and kill and potentially end his life. God bless that he was not killed. But you got to start looking at it like, is this attempted murder? Like, what is this? What is this? What's really going on? And we've come to find out that all that is required is 40 hours of this crisis intervention training, that if you're on the job for 4 or 5 years, out of those 4 or 5 years, you spent 40 hours of that time learning how to de-escalate situations, and God knows what they're teaching in these situations, because Lord knows they're not using it. Even the mom said, he's a small child. You couldn't just tackle him or something? Nope. Had to light him up. That's what they do, man. And, it's Utah, so there ain't too many black folks out there. So when there is police brutality or something out there, it more than likely happens to a white person. But, and I'm all about the Black Lives Matter. I'm all about that. But let's not forget about the core of this. The main commonality that's in all these stories is the police brutality of it. So when people are saying Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, where they're speaking on, hey, start treating us better. And now we're in a situation where it's a white child in this situation. That don't piss y'all off? Like, here we go. Okay, it's happening to black people. Okay, now it's happening to y'all too. So where's it not clicking that there needs to be reform when it comes to police and the policies that are in each and every single department in our country? That's the core of this. This is what Kaepernick was trying to say the whole time. Is like, hey, police brutality, and yes, it tends to slide more towards black people, and the news covered that with George Floyd. That's what really started popping stuff off. But this has been happening the whole time. So it was a black man, but this is forget the fact that it's a white male. It's a kid, and they lit him up, and he see that what. The other thing that bothers me about this is none of the major news sources are covering this. I actually went to go YouTube it to kind of see what some of the analysts and stuff were saying about this. I can't find anything from CNN, from Fox, from any of those things. And what it makes me think is that the agenda for these news places is to incite people, to keep those riots going, and to continue to show that in a negative light rioting and things like that. And I'm going to tell you like this, Linden Cameron, I ain't forget about you, and I'm going to speak up for you. I'm going to talk. What happened to you was wrong. It was wrong. There was a way to de-escalate this situation without having to shoot you. But they felt the need to do it anyway. Tired of this happening. And that's all lives matter people. Okay, all lives matter. Where y'all at? Where's Linden? Where y'all at for Linden? Why are y'all not speaking on Utah right now? Why are you not speaking on the Salt Lake City Police Department? Where y'all at? Because Linden Cameron has a life, and I'm pretty sure it matters. So where are y'all at? So y'all want to fight the narrative because they're saying Black Lives Matter, but now it's happening in your own community, and you're numb. You're mum. You have nothing to say. Explain that to me, because all you Antifa people and all not Antifa, but all them people, the anti-protesters for Black Lives Matter, all you people that are jokers like Kyle in Kenosha, Wisconsin, all those people. Where y'all at? Why are you not taking up arms and going in front of the police, the police station, and saying, hey? Now I know they were black, but hey, this is a white kid. Why are you not stepping up for what this actual issue is? Unless you just don't see a problem with it. And I think that might be the core of what's really going on out here. So for another week in a row, I gotta say prayers up to that family. Prayers up to Golda. I can't even almost imagine how she's feeling right now, because again, she's the mother of someone where she was trying to get them help, and it ended up in them being seriously injured, where her child had to have an interaction with the police, and it ended up violently. It ended violently. So that's where I'm at on that. Keep y'all posted on that one. I'm gonna keep my ears to it. Since CNN and Fox won't do it, holla at your boy. I'll keep you up to date. Moving on. Little Trump news for you. Trump is facing a defamation lawsuit from a woman who claims that he raped her twice 2 decades ago. What's important to note about this is that the Department of Justice is actually handling this case as in they are defending Trump on this. So that means that our tax dollars are going towards defending Trump's rape case. So keep that in mind. That is literally a thing that is happening right now. So keep your eyes on that one. Also in Trump news, and I don't mean to just poo-poo over that one, but that's just what I have on that one right now until more details come out. But what I do know is that a series of tapes came out because a guy named Bob Woodward is writing books about Trump, and he has interviewed Trump like 22 times during the course of COVID and even as late as like this past June or July. Like he's just been setting up all these interviews and Trump is taking them and he's speaking his truth. So what was most interesting to me was there was a tape that came out. It was recorded February 7th. Now we all started going cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, or cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if you will, around March 21st-ish, March 22nd-ish, something like that. And then they started the government closings, March 23rd, March 24th of most places, quarantine, all that. February 7th, Trump let us know, or let Bob know, that he knew about the coronavirus. Not only did he know about the coronavirus, he knew how deadly it was. He knew how it was transmitted. And he knew that it's definitely a thing that's on the way. That was February 7th. Now, think about all of the times that he was on TV in regards to coronavirus from February 7th on to where we are now. Think about all the things he said about the coronavirus before we end up going into quarantine and shutting stuff down. And even to the point where he's like, open up those schools and we want football back and open up Michigan and all that stuff he was saying. He knew how dangerous that this was. Yet he elected to not do anything. Just think about it. What if we started wearing masks back in February? Would we have lost as many people? What if people started having sanitizer and all that stuff on hand back in February? Do you think we'd be in this crisis? Do you think that maybe we might actually be able to go to Miami Beach and have a good time? Do you think that we'd probably actually be in restaurants like without all the fake plexiglass and all that stuff? Do you think things would be different today than they actually are at this very moment? I think so. I think it would have been a lot different. I think that there would be a lot more people that are alive because people would have moved differently. People didn't start moving differently until the middle of March, in a sense, and then things started slowly opening up, and that was in which they shouldn't have, because in a sense, maybe the quarantine should have happened back in February. Now they didn't quarantine nothing, so I had a good birthday back there on February 18th. But there's a lot of people that don't get to enjoy their birthdays at all because they're dead. Or there's these minimums at this point. It's all a mess. And the thing is, he knew about it. He knew about it. And what he's trying to say is the reason that he did that is because he didn't want the people to panic. So people just gonna sit around and casually just die and just get sick from this illness and not know that it's happening. He likened it to the flu. And people are like, oh, no big deal. And it turns out it's a very big deal. It's literally killing people. Then it's crazy because with him knowing that, he used it to incite his base, which his base, I can't believe these people are so gullible. Like, they're sitting there calling people sheep for wearing a mask and all that stuff. And they're the ones that are being sheep behind lies. Like, he's literally misleading the people of America. Now, a lot of people just don't listen to half the bullshit he says. But there's a large group of people that are risking their lives, especially in the South. I hate having to bring this up, but the South, y'all show out for free all the time. But they just because that's that base, that's that fan base. And they believe in America and in the Constitution and all that stuff, and my freedoms and my rights. Well, Trump, if you had said this is a very dangerous thing, there's a lot of people that lives would have been saved, and your base would have actually listened to you and potentially saved some of their own. Another thing that he said in those tapes, he was asked about racism. What does he think about systemic racism? He said, well, we have some more than other places, and we have less than some places. But he said, Bob would go on to say, though, but is it a thing here in America? He said, unfortunately, it is. And he said, does that affect people? Does it affect people in their daily lives? He said, unfortunately, yes, it does. So when he sits there and he poo-poos racism and systemic racism and how he's trying to disband cultural diversity classes and all that stuff and all that, the things that are actually helpful, he believes in this. He believes in systemic racism. He believes in the coronavirus. But he misleads people to further his business interests. He does it to try and secure another term in office. He's doing this without caring about the people of America, and I wish people who are his devout followers will understand that he does not care about you. I care more about you than he does. That's where we at. That's where we're at. So those are a couple of things to think about as November is quickly around the corner, and we got to make a good decision this time. Read the whole picture. Also, I want to say, Kamala, Joe, stop texting me. Stop texting me from that 3330 number. Stop texting me talking about y'all need money. Okay? I need money. Now, I can't give y'all none of mine talking about we just need a couple more dollars and we'll be able to beat Trump this year. What you need money for? Huh? What y'all need money for? Y'all better quit. Y'all better quit. Okay? Quit texting me talking about y'all need money. I'll block y'all. All right. Now I told you I was gonna try and vote for y'all, but y'all keep on texting me asking me for money now. Hey, all right, keep playing with me. Whew. But moving on, tonight we got Lakers game 4. I'm excited for that one. The Lakers are up 2-1. I'll talk more about the basketball aspects of things on my other show, The Bubble with Ian Thomas. We'll get y'all a new episode tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but sometime coming up in the next couple of days, we'll get a new episode of that coming out. But I'm excited for this NFL season. Now, obviously, safety first. I hope that they've been, quarantining how they do it. I hope they have a protocol in place, because that's something I don't know about. Like, because all these football players, because there's 52 people on the roster, and then there's people beyond that 52-man roster. And the trainers and all that. It's a lot. It takes a lot to have a football team, and a lot of people, a lot of moving parts. So it's a little bit easier when it comes to the NBA. There's less people to deal with, and obviously they're towards the end of the season, so they're just trying to play this out. The NFL's trying to do a whole season with coronavirus in tow. So I'm excited to kind of see how this works. I'm sure they have like quarantines and stuff in place. We all heard the story of my man's up in Seattle that dressed this girl up in in training uniforms for the Seahawks, and he got busted. He got cut from the team. So they are taking it very seriously. But I'm excited for the football aspect of it. So tonight we got Deshaun Watson versus my homeboy, Texans versus Chiefs. Both of them are coming off getting a payday, big payday. So Deshaun got his earlier this week. My homeboy got his a month or two ago. And I don't know. They two made men, so I don't even know what to expect out of this game. I feel like Deshaun may be a little bit hungrier than Mahomes, but at the same time, Mahomes, he's such a pro. I think it's just going to come down to whoever has the best defense. I think that's what it comes down to. Because I don't believe either of those two would become so lax now that they have generational wealth. I don't believe that they'll become that lax that they won't go out there and try their hardest to win. I can't call it either because I haven't seen either one of them play football. So if I have to make a choice, I have to go with what I last saw. Deshaun played a very good game in the AFC playoffs last year. Some unfortunate plays happened, and he just couldn't quite pull it out. And Patrick Mahomes is a Super Bowl champion, so hey, I gotta go with Patrick Mahomes tonight. I'm probably gonna start coming with a series where I'm gonna pick each game. I'll probably start doing that on Wednesdays or early Thursdays before we get onto this show. Maybe make it a part of the show. I don't know. We'll see. See if I feel like doing all that. But definitely tonight, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'll tell you like this. This NFL season has so much parity, and I want to call this year the year of the quarterback, because there's so many stories that are involving black quarterbacks that I really want to hold on to. And so we got Cameron Newton. I'm rooting for him. Russell Wilson. I'm rooting for him. Deshaun, Patrick, I'm rooting for both of them. Tyrod Taylor out there in Los Angeles, I'm rooting for him. But he has to go against Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be a crazy season. It's hard to call. I mean, and even outside of black quarterbacks, there's other stories. Like you see what's going on in Tampa. Right now, they're saying that the Saints are actually the favorites for the Super Bowl. Who's in the Saints division? Tampa Bay. So it's a lot going on there, and it's a lot of parity this year. We got a couple of teams that they're just going to stink. What's the squad called? They're tanking. Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a wrap. They're just calling it. They're trying to get a quarterback of the future. I don't know what the Bears are going to do. And, you know, speaking of black quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, I'm actually intrigued. I want him to do well because I want him to get paid because I think he got treated wrongly. Like they paid Tony Romo. He went to like what? He won one playoff series or something like that during his whole tenure with the Cowboys. And they paid him, couldn't wait to pay him. But Dak is out here showing out, playing very good football. And they're making him play out his contract and they franchise tagged him. I feel like they wouldn't do that with a white quarterback that gave them that kind of success. I think he would have been paid by now. So those are the things. We're watching those kind of things this year. And for bettors, I don't know if y'all betting on week one because I'm telling you, you can't call it. And let's not forget the Colts. They got Phillip Rivers. Who knows what he's about to do? I mean, the Colts seem like a complete team, but now it's Phillip Rivers. Are you going to be able to do what we brought you here to do? And damn, Jacoby Brissett, I hate it for you, man, but you ain't take enough risk, player. You might have been actually doing something, but you're too conservative, so you have to ride the bench. So we'll see if Phillip Rivers is ready to sling that thing down there. But I'm definitely, my prayers are with you if you're betting on these games this week because who knows what's going to happen. People have opted out of their teams this year or out of the season this year. I mean, Corona just changed the game for a lot of things, and we got to keep that in the back of our minds as we watch these, and we got to be grateful for some of the things that, you know, we thought we wouldn't get back for a long time. So each day is not promised, but each day is a gift. So we got to keep that in mind. But I know something that you can bet on, and you bet on it, you're going to win 10 out of 10 times. That's right. Go to Christian Mingle. Holla at your boy Bartholomew. I'll get you together. We can bet all day on Sunday. We can even go to church and I'll keep you up on the screen. I ain't going to quite do all that. But I'll be at the crib. But, you know, I have you in my heart. I pray for you. Come, go to Christian Mingle. Holla at me. Bartholomew. I'm on Twitter. UNIQO_Williams. That's Unico_Williams. And I'm Unico Williams on everything else. We on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And you know I'm on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Do You Hear Me? With Unico Williams. I holla.